Come on now. Y'all already know what this is. First things first. God did this. Don't get mad with us. Hey, before y'all do anything else, make sure y'all follow us on Facebook. We on that. Instagram. We on that. X. We on that. TikTok. We on that. Man, look. And make sure you're also hitting that notification button and like and subscribe to us, man. Because we are doing this the exclusive way.
The only way.
The only way. Come on now. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we got the one man and the only man that's going to check you into the Heartbreak Hotel, the Heartbreak Prince himself. Now, look, I ain't going to lie. We had a few things we talked about on Nighttime a couple of days ago. But, it's not going to be the same if we ain't going to give y'all a weekly review of everything that happened. So let's go ahead and kick it off with the 2 hours and 30 minutes of fire with Monday Night Raw, baby. I'm not gonna lie. Raw right now, I think they're on a precipice on getting better. And the reason why I say that, the only reason why I'm saying that honestly, is because of one man, the visionary, the architect, the Monday Night Messiah. But I ain't gonna lie, the way that we kicked off Monday Night Raw was CM Punk, the best in the world. Says that he's not even mad at anybody else. He's more mad at himself for even allowing this to happen, seeing how far Paul Heyman even got with this. He said he should have seen this coming. Paul Heyman already did this to him before, something similar to this. He should have seen it come a miles away. And we flash forward to Seth. Seth comes out. Tells CM Punk, look, you got all these people fooled. You sitting out here telling lies. You telling everybody that it's not your fault. That it's Paul's fault. Man, he said he's capping. Then we flash forward. Now Seth is coming out there. He comes and he says, Braun, I ain't even gonna lie. This man is a real dog, okay? Really mauling. Just came out beating the hell out of CM Punk. So now they're already getting ready. They're ready to put him down. By the way, Paul Heyman is the one that handed Seth the steel chair. I thought that was very poetic. And who comes out? Same thing. Jey Uso. Yeeting it up, helping CM Punk. And now, this is what it's looking like. Then we flash forward to Jey Uso. Now, Jey, he's doing his own thing. He's got his own thing he's got to handle, especially when it comes to him with his World Heavyweight title. Comes out, finds out Gunther says to Jey Uso, whoever wins that Saturday night's main event between you and Logan Paul, I hope it's you. So I can show people what the ring general is all about. Man, I ain't gonna lie, that man Gunther cooked with this one, man. Then we flash forward to something that we actually talked about on Nighttime. Louis Kaiser getting asked, how come we haven't seen you in the ring? What's been going on with you? And all of a sudden, here's some commotion. And what happens? Yeah, that man, Braun Breaker, literally, okay, again, mauling, just doing what the dog does, okay, and puts Jey Uso down. And man, this was another sight to see. So then we flash forward to Finn Balor losing to AJ Styles. Now, this was a great match. This was a really great match from these two men, man. This is something that this isn't a surprise when we get a classic out of these two guys. But who came out? Of course, that the smooth operator had a little bit of something to do with that. But who else comes? We flash forward to the man, Becky Lynch. Now, I ain't even going to lie. Becky, hey, you are killing it with these promos here. Before I was all saying, all the stuff about the Android and all this stuff. But Becky, I'm liking this. Keep doing this. Because she's saying she's about to start ruining some careers, and I'm all for it. Then we flash forward to the end. The main event, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky going to the moon, getting the dub of Roxanne Perez and Julia. And this is the finish right here. Man, not gonna lie. One of my favorite things I'm gonna talk about, because I ain't get a chance to really talk about on nighttime, because the one I really talked about on nighttime was Seth. I'm gonna give Seth that time. But now I got to really talk about the man. I know this sounds crazy. From me, the man, Becky Lynch. Are you kidding me? Yeah, this is actually really good. I enjoyed the promo that she cut. And I really think her coming back to Raw has now turned some things up. And this sounds crazy. But I kept watching and I kept saying to myself, man, I didn't know, for her being gone for so long, maybe this is something that the division does need on Raw. I mean, they're cooking right now on SmackDown. But on Raw, Becky Lynch, the man, hey, you are killing it on all fronts. But another thing I really want to talk about was something that we discussed a little bit on nighttime. Ludwig Kaiser. What are we doing, my man? Okay? I don't get it why we're doing this to my man, Ludwig Kaiser, man. This man puts on classic matches. The man puts on bangers. The man cut a promo. Look at the swag. Look at the suave on this man. The aura. Okay? This man's got it. Y'all got to capitalize on this man. This is another one we talked about before. Natural born stars. He's got it. Give him that chance. He'll thrive. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Yeah, I mean, Raw overall was very entertaining. When you start off with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and they're coming out and they're continuing their feud with CM Punk. You can't not be entertained. It's just you have greatness right there, and it delivered. And then of course you got what's going on with Jey Uso. And then Gunther, he's working his way back into the main title picture. Well, I guess he's owed a rematch anyway, but since he was a previous champion. But it's good to see him on the chase. And he cut a scathing promo. And I Logan Paul, this is going to be like his third or fourth title a shot that he's getting since he's been part of WWE.
Yeah.
And the man delivers in each and every last match. But realistically, I don't see him overcoming Jey Uso in this match. So we are going to get some type of Gunther versus Jey match, more than likely at Money in the Bank, which is good, which we're cool with. So it's good.
Now I'm thinking about it. God, this might not be good.
That
might not be good.
It's good because hopefully this time they can deliver a match that is better than what that they gave at WrestleMania. That's right. I'm better than TNA. I'm better than
NXT. I'm better.
I'm Hollywood Trick. We'll get to that later. But as far as Jay goes, not that the match at WrestleMania was terrible by any means. The only thing about that match was just the fast tap out from the ring general. And it just seemed out of character for him. So hopefully we get, a match that is, in the same vein of WrestleMania, but, we get a little bit more, from those, these two, professionals. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And then, of course, how I feel about Ludwig Kaiser. I've been saying it for at least a couple of months now that, I feel like this guy here is a star and that they should be giving him the opportunity to be somewhere in that mid-card fight for titles that will eventually show whether he can stand on his own and possibly be something bigger or not. And I really do believe there's more that you can get from a Ludwig Kaiser who is so good on the mic, so good in the ring. And, it would be beneficial to the whole mid-card title, especially we're talking about Raw. I think SmackDown has a better mid-card push going for it right now. But I think Dirty Dom needs more in his basket right now as far as people vying to be the Intercontinental Champion. Now, I mean, I know we got some story working around with Finn Balor, and eventually they're gonna face off, but Ludwig Kaiser should be in there somewhere. I can't say it enough. I really appreciate the guy and what he does and just how good he is. And I really do think that if they give him an opportunity, he will be successful. And I also believe that, it's one of these things, though, where you're not a Triple H guy. And I don't know, because I've seen things and stories in the past about, Ludwig Kaiser kind of being frustrated about his role in WWE. Especially when Penta was coming in and he was taking L's, left and right, that type of thing going on. It was kind of disappointing for him because he felt like he, should have had more of an upward, trajectory. And maybe he's just not a Triple H guy, and so Triple H won't give him those opportunities. I'm not sure, but I hope he can find a way, kind of like a carrying cross. What we are seeing with him, how he's kind of forming or making his own success. And I know some people talk about WWE not liking you kind of making it on your own. I think about Zack Ryder. Like he kind of made it on his own, and then he won a title, and then they made him like lose it like the very next day or whatever. And it's one of those things of like, if we don't make you the star, then we don't care for you, and so hopefully we get something with Ludwig, because I feel like the fact that they did this backstage segment and they had Ludwig Kaiser there, and he's talking about, or the question that was asked to him about, it was about him being in the main title picture. I really do think that's kind of dropping some breadcrumbs in that, hey, he's getting ready to go there. And then lastly, he says, I don't want to, it's two more things really. Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, man. I'm not a huge fan of Becky Lynch in the ring. On the mic, yeah, she's okay. But Becky Lynch, this Becky Lynch that we're getting, the promo that she cut on Monday was A1.
Come on,
and
man.
She was really in her zone. She was in the kitchen cooking. And I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to become a fan, Becky. Keep it up. Now, if your in-ring wrestling gets a little bit better for me, then maybe I'll be more of a bigger Becky Lynch fan. I just think she's a little stiff in the ring. But as far as that promo she cut and the matches that she has been having, like with Lyra, was actually pretty good. I think this is good. I really do think this is good for the women's division, specifically because on Raw, I think their division needs a little bit more work. And so, we saw something very special this week on SmackDown, which I was so happy to see the Beautiful Madness become the newest official roster member for SmackDown. And, I'm a Julia fan, and I know right now her star is not as shiny as La Primera, but I do believe that Julia has it. And I'm glad she's going to be getting these opportunities. And then, like I said, if you can bring a La Primera to Raw, I think it changes things just big time. So I'm looking forward to it. And then my last thing I'll touch on real quick is seeing my man Finn Balor take the pin. It's like, man, no matter how bad, no matter how much I want it, pause. They just will not give Finn anything, man. Like he lost the Intercontinental Championship opportunity. He lost to AJ Styles, which is AJ Styles. Okay, I understand. It's all part of the story. But I'm just like, when is Finn gonna break away? When is Finn gonna just get away from this? Get away from the Judgment Day. Get away from the drama. Just go and be Finn. I don't care if it's for the Intercontinental Championship. I don't care if it's for the U.S. Championship. I don't care if it's for the Heavyweight Championship. Just get Finn back to the old Finn and doing, his own thing. Yes, bring back old Finn. And if I gotta go and inbox Triple H every day, every hour, on the hour about Finn Balor, I will, because I want him to just be done with Judgment Day, and I want him out there doing, Finn Balor things, delivering just A1 matches, and just, having the crowd just really take him in. So that's my thing. But it was a good match with AJ Styles. I just hated to see it. And then, of course, Dirty Dom did Dirty Dom things. He wasn't even around. Like, Finn at least came out for you last week. I mean, he took a little bit. He went and got a chair, came back, was getting ready to deliver a blow. We understand. A little sus, but, he was at least there. Where were you, Dirty Dom? Where were you when Finn Balor needed you the most? And that's the one thing I do like about it, is it does have a little bit of a story element here that they're going to grow on. Which I'm sure is going to lead to some type of Money in the Bank confrontation, which I'm here for. But again, I still think it's too soon for Dirty Dom to lose the Intercontinental Championship unless they're going to give him the Zack Ryder treatment.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm hoping
I don't see that being the
to my
case.
man. Yeah,
Nah, Dirty Dom is
that
in
to
his
Dirty
element right
Dom.
now. He's the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
And the greatest Mysterio of
all
all
time.
Come on, man. But one thing you said with Finn, I think is interesting, man. Lately, that backstage, in the background, they've been doing those little nuggets with him and Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
What's been going on with that? I've been wondering, maybe, some people have been saying maybe it's a new faction he's starting up. Maybe it's a new group, like his own. I mean, some people say maybe it's a WWE version of the Bullet Club. I was like,
okay,
all right.
Yeah.
We could get something. But, ain't like how we know the Bullet Club really is, from New Japan to Ring of Honor. Hell, even AEW. Okay? Just saying, if we're going to do this Bullet Club thing, let's do it right.
Let's do it right.
And make sure it's too sweet, baby. But, we talked about some of the great things from Monday Night Raw. Now it's time to talk about what Shawn Michaels constantly cooking it up with NXT, baby.
Especially after kicking that kid.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. NXT was fire, man. And honestly, what I'm gonna tell you, Sean, you know what I'm gonna tell you. Hell, you know what I'm gonna say. Give this man, Sean, the chef's hat, because he constantly cooked up tonight with NXT, man. And honestly, I love what they did, man. Miles Bourne kicked off the show. He talked about how he wants to be known for his ability, not his disability. The man's partially deaf. And honestly, for this man to be partially deaf, he cut a good promo, honestly. I was like, man, you cut something better than the ones I've seen cut that might be on the main roster. For him to be partially deaf, I thought that was great. And Ethan Page comes out. Tells Miles Bourne, why don't you challenge me? Fight me. And how about we put your title shot on the line tonight? Miles is feeling good about himself. So he said, yeah, let's get it. Let's go ahead. Let's do it. We flash forward to Oba. Ooh, the ruler. Ooh, man, honestly, beating Charlie Dempsey. Now, honestly, this was a good match anyway. But anytime we see the ruler, he does what the ruler does, man. And he just goes crazy. And this was a great match to see. Then we flash forward to Wes Lee and Tony D'Angelo. Now, the only reason why this was going on because Stacks, literally, the underboss, literally is distracting Tony D. And he says, guess what? I'm at the Rizzo Safe House. Adriana Rizzo, if y'all don't know. That's part of the D'Angelo family. Says he's there. Says he's waiting. Man, I ain't gonna lie, that's something crazy.
Yeah.
Then we flash forward.
Diabolical.
That's what I'm saying. To Wes Lee getting the win on Tony D because of the distraction. And even after that, Tony D went to that house and literally got destroyed by Stacks. And I ain't gonna lie, man, for the Don, I don't know if that's looking for the Don, man. I'm a little worried. But then we flash forward to Fatal Influence and Jordan Grace, and of course, La Primera. Stephanie Valkyrie, man. The woman with aura. Now, she tells Jordan Grace, you lost once and you're not going to beat me again. And she made that very clear to Jordan Grace. And honestly, the whole thing with this thing with fatal, fatal influence and this whole thing, them saying that it doesn't matter who you guys win, it's going to come home to fatal influence. And honestly, in my opinion, if anything happens, if anything switches up, if any one of these two women from fatal influence is getting that, I believe it's going to be JC Jane. You got to do something with this girl, man. She's got it. I've been saying she should have been the leader of this group, and I don't know why she's been second fiddle. Give this woman, JC Jane, that title. Then we flash forward to Miles Bourne getting the dub over Ethan Page. And honestly, this was a great match. They're calling him Young Randy. They're saying even to Ethan Page, when he was talking, they said he can't hear you. Because then nobody want to hear Ethan Page's bull. I love how the crowd did that for him. They really said he can't hear. They didn't want to hear you, Ethan. That was bad. Then we flash forward to Tatum Paxley and Thea Hale. Now, I'm not going to lie, the backstage segment that Tatum Paxley had, her crashing out, saying how her friends left her. Oh, man, this was sad. It was so sad to say. I emotionally felt this for Tatum Paxley. Because we all know about Katie Dolan and Shotzi, how they were already in a group, had something solid going, and you just dropped two of the women that were healthy, that were good, and that were working. And now Tatum's back to being by herself. Now, of course, she can hold her own. Tatum's been doing that. But it sucks. And now, this is good for Tatum, because this gives a nice character shift for her. So now, she's over here trying to take the eyes out of Thea Hale. Now, this ends in a DQ. But I loved everything about this match. Tatum, keep doing what you're doing. Now we flash forward. Come on, man. Hollywood Trick. And
Hollywood.
if you say his name, he appears. We talked about this, man. This was so good. This was so good. Trick Willie Wonka saying that, he's better. He's bigger than NXT. He's bigger than TNA. He's bigger than WWE. He's bigger than wrestling. He's bigger than the CW. He's bigger. Pause. That's what he's saying. That is what he's saying. This man is bigger in every way. And Hollywood Trick, is now on the precipice of saying that he's going to take everything from Joe Hendry. And that his 15 minutes of fame is about to be over. But Joe Hendry says, no. I'm going to tell you what I've done. I'm going to tell you why it's different between me and you. See, this is your last shot at anything. That's what he tells Trick. Tells him this is your last shot. If you lose, your 15 minutes of fame is over. What I've been doing has been way more than 15 minutes. And he tells him, and he lets him know that ain't going to be working, and it's not going to be lasting long for Trick. I mean, at this point, yeah, he tried to treat him like he was Trick Willie Wonka, but Hollywood Trick wasn't having it. And I ain't gonna lie, man, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing if Trick does get this dub with this title. I'm for it. Then we flash forward to Jordan Grace beating Fatal Influence by herself, handicap, crazy, okay? Now, I ain't gonna lie, the fact that, JC Jane taking the pin, come on, y'all are killing me with this. I say one thing, then y'all make me look crazy with this. But this, again, great match. They cooked. And who comes out? La Primera. She comes out, and Jordan Grace literally tries to hand back the title. And honestly, with Stephanie Valkyrie just looking at the title, it makes me wonder, is this what we're going to be saying? Jordan Grace taking the title from La Primera, and maybe Stephanie Valkyrie going to the main roster, going to Raw. It's a possibility. Then we flash forward to the end of randomly, out of nowhere. I mean, I would thought this was something before this match, but this was like the last thing. Ethan Page attacking Ricky Saints. Now, there's already going to be a match with Javon Evans, and having a qualifying match, and whoever wins that match faces Ricky Saints. But now, with Ethan Page being here, of course, this turns some things. And he says now he's ready to take the title from Ricky Saints. And this is the finish right here. Hey, Sean, I ain't gonna lie, man. You're doing your thing with this. You're cooking up as you would constantly do. I'm not mad about a lot of stuff that was going on. Actually, I'm not really mad at all about anything. The only thing I would say is just Jason James. You gotta let her get some more time in. But honestly, my man Tony D'Angelo, man, my man is really on this whole character change right now. I ain't seen the Don looking as strong as he was. It's almost making the Don look like he's getting old. And the Don ain't even close to that. It's making the Don seem like he's just out of touch, out of place, out of purpose. Crazy. To the point where Stacks is really like, I've been studying you. I know your every move. I know what you're going to do. For this man to wait for you at the house. And by the time you pull up, Stacks is really already just ready to just kill. Man, come on. Come on, Tony. You can't be doing you the Don. You got to turn up on him. I don't know what's going on with you, man. You got to do better. I ain't going to lie, Tony. Don't let this keep happening to you. Because the Don ain't going to be the Don if you're losing to the underboss. That ain't how it works. Not for Tony D. Not for the fam. But, one good thing I really enjoyed, again, Tatum Paxley, just really seeing what she was doing, man. I'm loving her character work. She's taking this character change, and she's making it work. She's going crazy. I think when you got that insane kind of character, you can do so much with it. And I love what she's doing, man. She's really cooking with her whole character. But, of course, I got to talk about the one man, Hollywood Trent. The man that said he's bigger than it all. I mean, I love what he's doing, man. I think he's I think we're on a point to where we're about to start hearing some new stuff from him. I wouldn't be surprised if his catchphrase now is, I'm bigger than NXT. I'm bigger than WWE. I'm bigger than TNA. I'm bigger than CW. I wouldn't be surprised. That's Hollywood Trent. Out for it. You're bigger. You're better. You're wilder. It's just like
it is.
I don't know what this is about. He had to make a point. He had a point to prove. I get it.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love everything Hollywood Trick was doing, man. I love that segment. It's probably my favorite. He's still cooking. Trick, keep going. Joe, we love what you're doing, man. You're doing so much with your character work. I think him as a TNA champion, he's really showing that he is that guy. He's showing that he's been that guy. And again, keep cooking. Y'all keep cooking. Sean, keep doing what you're doing. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Yeah, again, another fantastic night of NXT. I just, Shawn Michaels just really knows how to, like I said, just tell stories and capture wrestling and just set up great matches that, you just get excited to get behind. Especially like my two favorite things, of course, it's always going to be what's happening with the family. And then, of course, what you got going on with Hollywood Trick, and then you sprinkle in a little Oba in there. It's just no bread, no water, just me. And it's just, he is just phenomenal, running this program down here at NXT. And you just see it. You can see it in the time that's been coming up into the main roster lately. Like I said, the fans have started to go crazy for Julia. She got a really good pop the other day or yesterday when she appeared on SmackDown. So people are starting to recognize her there. You got La Primera just doing well. And these are people that, like I said, Sean is just, he's putting them in great opportunities for them or in great positions for them to succeed. And that's what I enjoy about this NXT product. And then, like I said, you mix in the stories like with Tony D and Stacks that I am just really invested in and just trying to see how is this going to play out. When you got Tony D versus the underboss, and the underboss is out of control right now. And I'm just like, look, give Tony D the opportunity to just lay hands on him, please. Yes, just lay hands on this schmuck. And so yeah, it's good, man. I really do. But I do like the fact that the underboss is kind of a step ahead of Tony D. He's outthinking him. He's interrupting matches and important things that Tony D should be focusing on. for stuff that is just, dealing with the family and it's outside of Tony D. And then this week to show up at, Adriana Rizzo's house. I said, oh, you dirty.
You're
He's just,
dirty.
you're dirty.
Yeah.
And the effects that's going to have. And then, of course, Tony D goes out there and then catches a beat down. And I said, oh, this ain't looking good. This ain't looking good for the family. But the highlight of the week for me, of course, is Hollywood Trick, man. The promo he cut with him and Joe Hendry, they are just both in a zone and in their bag right now. I watched the CVV interview just the other day. I'm a little behind, so I just watched it with Joe Hendry, and I'm just so happy for Joe Hendry and the success that he's experiencing, the opportunities and doors that are being opened for him as far as being the TNA championship, being the TNA champion, and then being able to cross over into NXT and cross over into WWE, his spot at WrestleMania, like all of that has just been, it's just great to see. And I really do like Joe Hendry and what he's doing and how he's kind of building his brand. The crowd loves him, they recognize him everywhere, which is great. And then you have Trick, where he's as he said, he's bigger than NXT, he's bigger than TNA, and yeah, he's Hollywood Trick. And I, as we said on Nighttime, the fact that he incorporated that, included that in his new bag now, like the fans last week when he talked about his show that he's on, working with the CW, and the fans start chanting Hollywood Trick, and then he turns around the following week and like, you know what, I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna capitalize on that, I'm Hollywood Trick. It's awesome. The only thing that will make this storyline better is to actually see a title change. To see the TNA title change hands. It don't have to be for long. It can be, to the next pay-per-view or whatever. But I want to see this, partnership between TNA, between WWE. I want to see it have some more validity to it. Something to where you have again a great storyline of like, hey, another major brand's title is not on their promotion, and what kind of story can unfold from something like this. So excuse me. So I'm excited to see what they do with this. I think they're in their bag, and shout out to Hollywood Trick, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Trick, man, look, Trick, you are doing great work, man. I'm telling every time when this man talking about I'm just better, I'm better, I say, you know what, you are, you're better.
It's crazy. He was in his zone, man. He's in his zone.
He is, man. I think he's changing his look. I think it's just kind of the aura of how he's kind of, like how he's even carrying himself is a little bit different. Like now, like even how he comes out with the entrance now, it's like, yeah, we're still saying whoop that Trick, but the whoop is different. It's a different whoop now. I don't know. This how he's coming out, how he's looking. It's just the small stuff. And I'm like, yeah, Trick, this is the Hollywood that we seeing now.
Yeah. And it's it's like he's finding himself as like Joe Hendry. That was one of the things he talked about in his CVV interview, was just like learning how to kind of be a professional wrestler, like moments in the ring, being himself more authentically than trying to copy multiple wrestlers and within his matches and things of that nature, and then how that kind of allowed him to take off. And I think Trick embracing the different phases of Trick that you can have is great. And like I said, I think the week when he stopped, when they started chanting Hollywood Trick, and he just took it in and let it ride that wave. You see a different aura of Trick, and I appreciate it, because Crash Out Trick, he was on something else.
Yeah.
But Hollywood Trick,
throwing 3 or 5 cups and on the table. Give me my title. I'm on my title.
I'm bigger than these solo cups.
I'm bigger than the table. I'm bigger than the title. I'm bigger than the pedal. Like what?
Yeah. So Crash Out Trick was wilding, but this Hollywood Trick, he's back in the saddle, man. He's smooth. He's deliberate. He's he's intentional, and I like it. I really do. I like where he's going with this.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. But we talked about some of the great things with NXT. So we gotta talk about the end of the week with Friday
Mm.
Night Smackdown, baby. So I gotta talk about Friday Night Smackdown. Because it really was 3 hours of fire, 3 hours of heat, 3 hours of nonstop storytelling that just kept getting better, baby. And honestly, what I loved to see was my man, the Big Blood, the Simone Werewolf, the man with the magic boot, Jacob Fatu. Now, he was out here with Solo. Solo kept trying to get what Jacob Fatu kept trying to say. Jacob, why don't you say what that thing used to say? How do you feel about me? Tell him, tell him. And literally start shoving Jacob. I mean, really like pushed him. And Jacob looking at him like, hold on. Let me just tell you. Let me just. I love Jacob, man. This guy's good. And look at the I love Jacob. I love Fatu sign. Okay, the crowd is going crazy. He said he's all gas, no brakes, and the crowd is with it. Okay, he said he's gonna win that title with him or without him. And honestly, this man hits the yada mean. And the funniest part to me was Solo. Yada mean, yeah. I mean, this guy Solo has legitimately grown so much on me, man. I really love what he's doing with this. Just the fact that how he's really like his character, how he went from being the tribal chief to now I'm just trying to find love from Jacob Fatu. This is crazy. This is insane. But what the next thing that came about was my man, LA Knight. Yeah. LA Knight comes out, pulls and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna call him JC Mateo. I'm not saying that. That is Jeff Cobb. Okay, comes out, starts to attack Jeff Cobb, runs off. Then we flash forward to Alexa Bliss beating Chelsea Green. Now she's also qualified to be in the Women's Money in the Bank match. Now, of course, we know Alexa Bliss is a former Money in the Bank winner and also a former women's champion, multi-time women's champion. And I don't know what's been going on with this whole thing with her and Charlotte, but whatever they're trying to do with her and Charlotte, I don't know what y'all trying to do, but I don't like this. I don't know what it is, but if you're trying to form a faction, if you're trying to do something, make it make sense because it's not making sense right now. Then we flash forward to Fraxium, man. These guys are going insane. They beat DIY. These guys have beat everybody on the roster. Okay, I'm not liking this. I mean, I am, but I'm not. Okay, you beat the Profits, which they weren't 100%, so it don't matter. Because when the Profits are up, stop playing. You know the rest. But,
diabolical.
Fraxium getting the dub on DIY, and, now they have a title shot next week with the Profits. And y'all know what's going to happen. Profits going to get that dub. Then we flash forward to Aleister Black and him, Carmelo Hayes, having a match. And it gets interrupted. The Miz literally interferes, tries to beat the hell out of Aleister Black. Doesn't really work that way. Gets kicked. But he gets kicked just to save Carmelo. And Carmelo ends up in the end looking strong in that. Then we flash forward to the man that prays. The man that's in need of a miracle. My man Drew McIntyre, man. Look, he said he's on this, he's not playing. And this man, Drew, honestly, I just, his promo work that he's doing right now, and not even now, he's been doing this. But his work right now, look, get him off the mid card. He don't even need to be there right now. Get this man in the main title picture now. Now. This man, Drew, he's so up. He's in his bag. This man's in his own aura right now. Stop playing with Drew. Come on, man. Then we flash forward to Solo beating Rey Fenix and Jimmy Uso. Now, people were already saying Jimmy deserves better. But again, this is Solo. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I swear, that's the funny. I can't not unhear it now from him. I've been saying this all night. I can't stop. But he's getting the dub, and now he qualifies to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I don't see Solo winning, but hey, anything could happen. Then we flash forward to Jeff Cobbs beating LA Knight. Now, I'm not going to lie. The fact that LA Knight is still involved with the Bloodline, I'm for it. I'm for it. You know, some people don't like it. Some people don't like the fact that this is something that's continuing, but look at what's going on. LA Knight's still doing stuff in the storyline. There's a title involved. What do we have a problem with? Let's keep it going. And they have a story going. So let's this is something that makes sense. Continue with this. And I'd love to see it, man. Then we flash forward to TV time, Nia Jax. But the best part was proceeding with caution with Naomi. Now, she came out there with a steel chair, ready to attack Tiffy time, because we already know what time it is. But then, who comes out? The woman that says she's got her own glow, her own aura. The one that's got the storm coming. Jade Cargill. Literally super kicks. Doesn't attack. She's getting better every week, man. I'm getting proud of her more and more. Now, they already have their whole thing outside the ring. They continue. And the match continues as well. Tiffy Tom gets that same chair, hits Nia Jax in the face, kicks her, does her, most beautiful moonsault. And this is the finish right here. Amazing title defense, man. Amazing title defense from Tiffy Time. Tiffy Time. Honestly, man, look, y'all already know what my favorite part of SmackDown was. Is it? Come on. You already know what I was about to do. It ain't going to be nothing else I'm going to talk about if I don't talk about this right here. Because, again, we talk about aura. We talk about storyline. We talk about how good is this getting. And honestly, every week, whether it's Jacob at a PLE, him doing something, not even behind the scenes, but we're seeing him doing a backstage promo, whether he's out there in the ring. I love every second of it. And this is good. And Solo, hey, I know we were saying something about you being Solo, but hey, bro, yeah, you doing it. I love it, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's you. I'm with it, bro. I love what they doing with this character, man. I like it. Some people think it's cringe. I don't even think so. I think everything that Solo's doing is great. He's doing this whole thing where you can tell he's showing jealousy. You can tell he feels like, man, how come they don't love me like they love Jacob? And this is good. This is great storytelling that we're doing right here. I love it. I love it for Jacob. I love it for Solo. I even love it for Jeff Cobbs. Because now he's in the mix. Come on. JC Mateo. Y'all got to be kidding me with that. Are you kidding me? Y'all really said, you know what? That works. JC Mateo. Give him that. Who's backstage? Vince? Why are we changing names like that? You announced Jeff Cobbs first when he debuts on the PLE. Then on Friday, JC Mateo. We already got a 2-letter name person, JD McDonough, which was formerly known as Jordan Devlin. Sometimes I got to educate y'all with these names, bro, because this is crazy. Again, I'm not against if you're going to change or if you can't do the full name, just make it make sense. Could have called him Cobbs. Could have called him JC. I don't even know. But JC Mateo? Was this AI? Did AI give y'all that one and say, yeah, this is the good one? Yeah, write it down. Write it down. Good answer. Like we're on Family Feud. That was a miss. That was a miss. Y'all shouldn't have did nothing with that name. Y'all should have kept it the way it was. If he owns the name, cool. But if y'all gave him this name for ownership, no. Anybody could have told you that was not a good idea. But hey, he gonna do what he want to do because it don't matter. Jeff Cobbs is an amazing wrestler. He's great on the mic. He's great in the ring. He had a great debut. Not mad about it. That I'm not upset about. He looks great. Looks strong. Ain't got to do much. He shows what he can do. First, I was wondering how much of Jeff Cobbs are we gonna see? How much of his moveset? And he showed that. He showed that more and more. But look, he hasn't even said a word. When that time comes, it's gonna happen. Again, who knows? If this is another man that's on the side of Solo, and he gets the bigger pop again or gets over, then maybe we need to start looking at Solo as, hey, maybe this guy's got something. Maybe he's got an aura that maybe it's not on him, but he's got an aura that can pass it on to somebody else and make them look like the star. I'm gonna tell you right now, if something like what Jeff Cobbs happened the same way with Jacob Fatu, hey, it ain't just them. You better start looking at Solo. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts? What you think? Yeah.
Yeah, when SmackDown aired or started, and I saw it start with the Bloodline, I knew. I said, this is he's losing his mind right now. But it begs the question for me of like, who's running the Bloodline now? And the reason why I asked that is because as soon as I saw Solo come out in the La Primera position, it made me wonder, like, all right, what are we doing here? Because we got Jacob Fatu carrying the United States Championship, and Solo's walking out here like he's still in charge of the new Bloodline. And I don't know how I feel about this because we know Solo is not as over as Jacob Fatu, to the point that in the ring, Solo's trying to have a conversation or talk on the mic, and the crowd is chanting Fatu, Fatu. They love Jacob Fatu, and he deserves it, man. He deserves every bit of the love because of the energy, because of the in-ring work, just the sayings now, the yada I mean, we got the spasms he's having in the middle of the ring. He's just unhinged, and it's unhinged energy, and we as fans enjoy that. And Joe Steratore and Don Barrett trying to get the yada I mean, it's just it's
Wade. I ain't gonna lie. Wade be trying, man. He's trying hard.
He was some of it's the King's English. But I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this. Does it have does this story have range? I will say yes, because you talked about, there's this hint of jealousy there that you can kind of see with Solo, and Solo is trying to bend Jacob Fatu to his will, as far as what's that saying you used to say? What you used to say it all the time. What was it? Say it for him.
I love you, Solo.
I love you, Solo. Hey, the shade in that is unreal. The shade. You can tell he's just like this dude.
So now say it like you used to. Say it like I was like, oh.
Yeah. So I do think it has range. The story can have some good things that can come out from it. But I will say, JC, Jeff Cobb, whatever it is you want to call him, he put on a clinic. He put on a really good show. When I saw my man turn around and do a standing moonsault out of nowhere, just nasty. And then when I saw him catch LA Knight off the rope and do his I forgot how they call it. Yeah,
the tour of Islands.
Yeah, man,
that was crazy. That's a good name.
That was going crazy. And I said, man, that is an excellent debut. And shout out to LA Knight for putting what's best for business first, because you had to take an L from this newcomer that just came in, but it helped establishes him, and I don't really think it really hurts LA Knight in any major way. But I do believe they have something going here with this group, and I think it's better than what it was. And I'm gonna say Bloodline 2.0. I'm gonna call this Bloodline 3.0. And so I do think they got something good here, and they can cook with it, especially with this dynamic between Solo and Jacob Fatu. But my next thing that I want to hit on is something that you brought up too, and that dealt with Alexa Bliss and what they kind of did with the backstage segment with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. I don't know if I care for this, and to me, what it came off as, if I can, it came off as the WWE realizes that, hey, Charlotte is not in a good space right now when it comes to how she's being, perceived or received by the fandom. And it seemed to me, and I could be, reading too much into this, that they tried to use Alexa Bliss and her her being accepted by the fans and kind of try to put them together to kind of say, hey, we can like Charlotte too, that type of thing. Like, Charlotte, you were the first person that came and helped me or talked, whatever she said in that segment. And Charlotte was like, I don't even remember this or remember you. And I'm like,
yeah,
like it.
I'm like, damn, well, you get it.
Like, she's trying to help you.
Yeah, you just took the flowers and tossed them.
And man, I don't know.
On them. Actually, just stop. Matter of fact,
Charlotte. I don't know, man. I don't know what to do about Charlotte. I really don't. And she's just in a position or in a place where things are not going her way with the fans and how she wants to be perceived. And instead of just leaning into what she's given, if they want her to be healed, just be healed. Like, you don't have to have a crowd, cheer for you. They can boo you. Like you said it yourself. They're either going to woo or boo.
Oh, boo.
So
come on now.
But I don't like the fact that to me, I perceive this Alexa Bliss thing as they were trying to give some of that energy, some of that positive energy over to Charlotte. And it's like, nah, Charlotte, you need to overcome this on your own. You either need to sink or swim on your own in this. And like I said, I could just be reading too much into it, but I didn't care for that segment. They almost could have done without it until Julia came out of the office from Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis announced that she is the newest member of WWE SmackDown. And I said, they did it. They went out here and they grabbed my girl, the beautiful Madness. And I cannot wait to see the stories and the battles she's going to be able to have with the SmackDown women's roster, which is the second best women's wrestling roster. I'm really looking forward to it, because to think about the fact that you got Tiffy time, now you have Julia, Nia Jax is back, doing her thing. Jade is on the rise. We got to proceed with caution that she's sneaking around in the background of different promos. Yeah, like, because Jade is having a promo with Alexa Bliss. I'll get to that in a second, but it just popped in my head. It's having a promo. It's doing a promo with Alexa Bliss. She comes through or whatever, and Michin. And if you pay attention in the background, Naomi walks out and just in a creepy manner just stares at them for a minute, and then just turns around and walks back. And I said, this is diabolical. What are we doing here? Yeah,
it's like, whoa,
But I will say something that bothered me, something that I was sad to see, man, was Michin. Like, yeah, when they said she had a shot to be in Money in the Bank, I said, okay, this is good. This is good here, because Michin delivered last year in Money in the Bank. But then when they said she's going up against Alexa Bliss and Chelsea Green, I said, oh, Michin, she out. She ain't winning this. There's no way she's winning this over Alexa Bliss. And then you got to be quietly kept. Chelsea Green, she's over. Like, she is just, the stuff she says, like yesterday when she said, I'm putting tariffs on mediocrity. She's hilarious. She is hilarious. And I just say, this is why she's so endearing. Like her actual wrestling in the ring may not be like anything earth shattering, but she's endearing to people because of how she is as a personality and how she is on the mic and the stuff that she says, like little slick comments. That's great. The terrace on mediocrity was great. that was great.
That a shirt.
Yeah,
that on the shirt.
Terrace on mediocrity. But yeah, I feel bad though for Meechin because again, I keep trying to push Meechin. I always fall in love with these underdog characters, these characters that I'm like, man, they are putting on great matches. Like we talked about earlier. I can't think of his name right now. I can't believe I just drawing a blank.
Like a Louis Kaiser.
Louis Kaiser, thank you. Like Louis Kaiser, and now you got Meechin, and they have the ability to like put on these good shows and should be involved in more of the stories going on, but they don't seem to be able to carve that path, and that's okay. But lastly, man, to kind of finish it off, I do want to give Tiffy Time her credit with Nia Jax. They put on a really good match to end the show. I loved the prettiest moonsault ever after the drop kick to the chair that smacks Nia in the face. And I was wondering if Nia got busted open there from that kick. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So because they didn't cut to it enough so you could really see, but I did see the medical staff come out and start like trying to give her towels and things of that nature because it seemed like she caught the bad end of the chair. But Nia Jax, man, I just love having her back. I like the dynamic that she brings to the women's division. And the feud she has with Tiffany is just great because it goes when they show the flashback of like Nia just belittling her, grabbing her by the throat and neck and all that stuff, and just yeah. I mean, it's like this is Nia Jax at her best here, but they put on an excellent match. So shout out to Tiffy and Nia. Good match.
Yeah, man. Yeah, y'all did your thing, man. Honestly, again, Jade, you're doing better. Every time I see you, you're improving every week. It's the little things.
Yeah,
and you're doing
that kick, pretty good.
Yeah, spot on. Pretty spot on. Made the sound. I said, all right, Jade, we on to something. We are on to something. Yeah. Oh man. Hey, but we talked about some of the great things with Monday Night Raw, with Seth Rollins, the Man, Becky Lynch. Talked about some of the great things with NXT. Shawn Michaels cooking it up. With Joe Hendry, Hollywood Trick being better than NXT. Bigger and better. And we talked about SmackDown with the man with the magic boot. Okay, the Simone Werewolf. Solo, yeah.
Yeah, that I mean.
Drew McIntyre playing, and of course, proceeding with caution with Naomi. Man, so make sure y'all follow all of our socials. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. We on that. Instagram. We on that. X. We on that. TikTok. We on that. And make sure you also subscribe, like, and leave us some comments. And make sure you hit that notifications button because we're going to always give you that content the exclusive way. So, as always, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. We had the one man and the only man that could check you into the Heartbreak Hotel, the Heartbreak Prince himself. Because we are the Xclusive Knights, and all we do is ensure that we make sure that we are the best there is, best there was, and the best that ever will be.
Excellence of execution.
Come on now. And to ensure that your nights will never be the same.
That's for you, D-Lo.
Y'all be good.
Hey, thanks for watching.